pop open and let me get in. Now, this is the first thing you're going to see when I go to the digital reader. The digital reader is nothing more than a way to manage your ebooks. And you can see I've got two things here. J.K. Rowling, Extraordinary Author, and it says up there it's an online ebook. That means I've checked it out, but I haven't downloaded it to my iPad. So the only way that I could read this book is if I'm connected to the internet. If I'm not connected to the internet, I can't read J.K. Rowling. Now, to read it, all I have to do is click on that download button. If I click on download, it will download that ebook to this. You don't have to worry about it. The second thing, downloaded books on this e-device, this layups and long shots, I downloaded that already. So now if I'm at the beach or I'm at the pool or I'm anywhere I'm at the grocery store or any place, you can drive it along in the car. Well, don't do that. You can read that without being connected to the internet, so it's kind of nice. Then you can see those green buttons along the side. You can switch between downloaded and move online. I don't know why you'd really want to move a book online unless your iPad were so full of stuff that you wanted to get rid of and open up some space, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you a couple things. I'm going to go into the J.K. Rowling book. You just click on the title, and I'll show you how this reads in here. It's a little bit different. There are some different things, and again, I've got pictures and all this, but if you want to just pay attention to the top, I'm going to show you what the reader can do that's kind of swift. The far left icon up at the very top, again, there's your table of contents. So you can flip through. Here's essential facts about J.K. Rowling, a glossary, source notes, index, all this good stuff. You can click on any of these, and it'll take you right to that section, and then you just X out of the table of contents. So there you go. Okay. Use your bottom scroll bar, again, to go page through page. Down at the very bottom left, you see that little thing that says 1, 2. If you click on that, it's going to show you 2 pages on one. So if kids are more used to reading books and they want to read it like this, they can do that, however they want to do it. If you want to go back to just the one page, you click that again, it'll take you back to the one page. One of the nice things about this, too, the little icon that's the magnifying glass, if you click on that, it's actually a term that you can look for. So if you're looking for terms in the book, you know, if you've got a book, for example, on Elizabethan poetry and you want to search for a specific poem or something, it's a really good way to do it. It'll find instances of those words in the whole e-book. It's just like having a massive index that every word is indexed. Probably not a, an, or the. Those things are usually not indexed, but the rest of them will be. Okay? The little button that looks like the little spiral notebook over there is notes, and it says you haven't created any notes, and I'm going to show you how to do that. That's kind of fun. The other thing it's got is a dictionary. So if you've got a book here, and a kid comes across a book, like a word like nonetheless, and they don't know exactly what that means, nonetheless, they can look it up. Boom, it opens another browser, and there you're right at the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and it'll define it for them. Now, obviously, you've got to be hooked to the internet to do this, but it's got a really nice that dictionary feature in it.
Marisela Cavillo to Student Services. Marisela Cavillo to Student Services.
So, Kevin, I'm
yes.
doing this with a downloaded book.
Okay.
And none of those...
And that's why.
Okay.
One of the things, if you download a book to your iPad, some of those features don't work anymore. They don't work, like the note-taking and things like that don't work. It has to be just online. That's why if you want to take notes on this, you may want to move a downloaded book back online to be able to do it. That's why I showed you this one first. If I go to that one that's downloaded, it won't work. Okay? Yes?
You can't get any, what did I
You haven't
not
checked
do?
any out. You
I
didn't
haven't
check any
checked
out.
out
So you have to find a book first and check it out.
Okay.
That's when they appear in the reader here. Yeah?
Does it say where they left off? Like if I'm having the kids annotate the text and then tomorrow we're going to finish it up?
Yeah, if they just
it
close
leaves off
it,
where they go.
it'll, that's what it did. I was using this earlier today at my office, and when I opened it today, it took me right back to where I was before.
And annotations are still
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What if I have to share it with another kid?
That's...
If they log in?
Yeah, if they log in, it should keep it, because they'll have to log in to use it, and it'll remember what book they had, so yeah.
So we just have to make sure the kids log out at the end of class.
Yeah,
And
otherwise
log in
they
to
can
the
check
internet.
out their books. And,
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So let me show you a couple of other things. To take notes, those notes I showed you, if you just click anywhere in the white section of the book and hold it, it pulls up this little box. It's a note box. The top section, you can put a title there, whatever you want to put. And then in the bottom section, you just put whatever your note is. So I'm going to say, these are my notes. Okay. Then it lets you save it or delete it. And once you save it, it's going to put a little icon there to remind you that you have a note there. And I don't know what that note means, but if I just click it, it'll pop it open. and you can read it. So if you want to say, this is a really good section that talks about her life before Harry Potter, whatever you want to do. Okay, so that's a note. If you want to highlight some things, you can do that too. Just click on a word somewhere, and it'll highlight that word. It will let you either look it up or highlight it, either in yellow, pink, or green. And you can use these little, I don't know what they call these little hanger things, the blue things. You can even grab those and highlight more. So if you want to do this whole paragraph, you can do that. And then I'm going to highlight it in green. And that green highlighting stays. Now if you want to get rid of the highlighting, you just click in there, and it will say delete, and you can delete, and it'll get rid of all the highlighting. So it's really nice. You can highlight things, you can take notes, a lot of things that you can do in here.
You could even like have your kids on a page be like highlight all the nouns in pink, verbs in green, take a screenshot, send it to my Edmodo, and there's your X's slip or your PSL
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's great. Yep. Okay. The little bottom box down at the very bottom right where it says 50 out of 114, if you click in there and you know what page number you want to go to, you can just type it in. So if I want to go to page 75, I can just put 75 and say go, and it'll take me right to page 75. So it's really easy to manipulate and move around in these things. Very, very simple.
So,
This little button way up in the top corner, that's a little gray plus, that is a bookmark. So if you click that, it puts a little bookmark in here that you can find later. So you can bookmark pages, you can take notes, you can highlight, you can read online, you can read offline. So much you can do with these. It's really handy. And the best thing about it all is the book can't fall in the mud puddle and get ruined. The dog can't eat it. Now the dog can eat the iPad, but he can't eat it himself. And the kid's never going to lose the book because there's nothing to lose. It checks in automatically unless he checks it in early himself. So very, very handy to use. Some kids, I'm telling you, are going to like the feel of that book in their hands, and that's okay. The printed book, contrary to what you've probably read, is not going to disappear anytime soon. One thing about ebooks that we found out is publishers are scared to death of them. And they're scared to death because they never do wear out. They stay forever. So if you buy an unlimited copy of Harry Potter, why would you ever have to buy another print copy? And they're afraid of losing money. So there are several of the major publishers, mostly not educational, but other publishers that have just decided right now they're not going to publish anything in ebook format because they just don't know about the pricing structure and how that's going to work. There are other publishers, you've probably read, that are selling their books to public libraries, and they let patrons check them out 26 times, and then the ebook dies, and the library has to repurchase the ebook. It's a way to recoup some of their money because they've got to pay their editors and pay their printers and pay their writers, and if they don't have that money coming in, then there's nothing to, no books anymore. So publishers are a little bit scared, and actually last year for the first time sales of ebooks actually decreased from the year before a little bit. People are getting used to them, but the general consensus is that ebooks are going to be kind of like books on CD. They're great to have, but they're an adjunct to the printed book. The printed book is going to stay away around for a while. They're just too handy to have. People like having that. You know, if you drop a $2.50 paperback in the sand and ruin it, $2.50. If you drop this in the sand and ruin it, you're talking $600. So I'm not disparaging ebooks. They're great, but they're a great adjunct to what we're doing, and they're never going to replace everything. So.
Are students allowed to go, like if they're at home, can they go on and pick up a book and continue reading
Absolutely.
books through the computers,
Yep,
right? So it's
absolutely.
Not like
It's not just iPad. They can do it on their phone. I would not want to read a book on my phone. I can't believe they're going to be blind by the age of 30, but they do it.
They do.
And you can, these apps that I'm showing you, the Destiny Quest and Follow It Reader, those are available on their iPhones and on their smartphones, so they can download those apps there. And they can do all the things they can. As long as the kids have their username and password, they can log in, they can check out ebooks, they can read them at home, read them anywhere there are. And they can download them even to their phone. So it's not just the iPad.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
can they get things books that they've downloaded on their stuff at home and bring them here? I mean, like,
You're
Let's say
talking
they
about
got-
books from Portage or someplace
no,
else?
I'm thinking a book off of the internet, off of the free internet.
Like if they log into their iTunes.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
well,
they can.
yeah, they can.
Download anything that's on
There are
their
certain
iTunes.
things, I mean, obviously, FWCS doesn't allow access to Facebook and Twitter and things like that. Those social media sites are blocked and they can't get on there. But yeah, from iTunes they could. If they have a username and password, they get to it to a browser, sure, yeah. The key thing is, because we're not letting kids take these home right now, is a little bit of a safeguard. If you've got them just used in the class and all of a sudden you hear them playing music in the back, you can, kind of point them out and say, okay, turn off the iTunes. We're not doing that right now, but yeah, they can get to it, yeah.
I was thinking more in terms of books that
Oh,
are
yeah.
inappropriate.
And books, sure, yeah, well, that's the thing, and with the public library, you can check out books there too. I mean, the public library has a lot of ebooks, and if they have that Overdrive app or Kindle app or something like that on their iPad or if they have a Kindle, they can check out public library books very easily in ebook format, so, yeah. It's a brand new world.
So are we letting them get on Overdrive, like if they have a library card, are we letting them read those kind of books on these iPads, or are we not going to encourage?
What I would say is that this is primarily going to be used in the classroom for educational purposes. They shouldn't probably be sitting in here reading a book from the library. They're going to be primarily, I would think, using these for projects in your class that you're giving the kids. Or if you've all had them download a copy of a book and we're all going to read that together, or do a project with it together, then they shouldn't have time.
Well, I'm thinking independent reading.
Yeah,
Those
well,
kind of things. I've done independent reading for 10 minutes a day or whatever, and then have them do a little writing with it or whatever, so I just wanted to make sure.
I wouldn't let them do that on the school
I mean-
iPads, just because you can get 50 Shades from the library.
Yeah.
From Overdrive.
yeah, you don't want them to
So
read that.
just maybe not do that, then they have.
Well,
to
and they can get
physical hand in the book.
Some of the free books that are on free books
Oh, it's amazing.
are nasty. I mean, like total porn, way worse than 50 Shades.
Wow.
50 Shades isn't bad. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, for a sixth grader, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
alright.
All right, your book bag up in the right-hand corner, when you click that, it will say, you have this book checked out for 14 more days. Do you want to keep it or return it early? And they can do either they want. So if they want to keep it, it's still checked out. Here's where they can return it early if they're done. So once they return it early, it will disappear from the Follow It digital reader. I'm going to keep it because I want to keep it. Okay? And then you'll see up in the upper right-hand corner in the reader where it says check out more books. If you click on check out more books, bam, it comes back to that stupid Follow It shelf. They're making money off this. Somebody's making money off this Follow It shelf because it always comes up here.
Yeah.
And in the Follow It shelf, they can also search. They can look for anything in here. So the Follow It shelf is really for ebooks, and you can look through here. So basically, just play with all these programs. There are so many different ways to get into them and how to read. You can use through the Follow It shelf. You can read them online. There's a lot to go through. And I've got some papers here that are going to give you some ebooks basics. They got a lot of pictures. I've got one sheet on the Follow It shelf, another on Destiny Quest. So you can plow through that. And when you're done with it, if you want to keep it, you can. If you want to use it to line your cat litter box, that's what I tell everybody. It's very absorbent paper, so, have at it. And I've got extra copies if you want to hand these out to anybody, Jill. I'll give these out to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I had to, I didn't.
Our librarians in the district are very knowledgeable, so if you have questions, Jill can help you, but if you really, and the other thing is, if you want to order some ebooks, if you're thinking of doing that, well, Jill, what I would do is, if you probably have a Tidal Wave login, that's where we order those. You can actually give them your login and let them create a list, and then as soon as they're done with that, you can share it with me, and I will order those ebooks as long as I have your key and object. Does everybody know what a key and object is? Yeah. If you have money somewhere to spend, you have to ask the secretary for your key and object. It's just your account number, so I know where to take the money from. But if you want to get together with department heads or talk to your principals or get together with Jill and figure that out, I can take money from anywhere to buy ebooks. So it's just not limited to Jill's budget. I can order them from anywhere. And the good thing is you use your budget to do it, and everybody in your school can use it. But don't worry, nobody from another school can get them. There are books that we could buy that are district ebooks that if we bought them at the district level, then everybody would have access, but we haven't done that yet. Because it's kind of hard to tell that we buy one book and it's going to be suitable for all the schools across the district. So we really prefer to just let the schools individually decide what they want for their collection. What you get may be completely different from what Lakeside and Memorial Park gets. So you pick the books that are going to work best with your curriculum and go from there. So it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to use and a lot of fun to play with, so that's the best way. You have any questions or anything at all? Okay, pretty straightforward. It's not tough. Just go home and play with it. Honestly, once you start playing with it, you won't even need this anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you may. There you go.
Thanks.
Got you. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Soon.
It's no problem. Going out to Kiki on this.
I thought you were going to go straight home.